Well, like I said, I'm in Calgary. First time I've traveled in over a year. I actually haven't left the country in more than 2. I don't think I'm allowed to. I can't blame Trudeau for that. It's that the United States won't allow unvaxxed people in. I can go to Europe, but the thing is, when I return to Canada, and I say me, but of course it applies to millions of Canadians, we have to undergo a 2-week quarantine, even if we're healthy. Now, there's no reason for that medically. It's just sheer punishment. Justin Trudeau knows that if you're a trucker or if you're unvaccinated, you are an enemy of his, and he'll do whatever he can to punish you. He is not a uniter. Anyhow, enough preamble. I want to let you know why I'm in Calgary. Besides visiting my family, who I have not seen in a while, we have a growing team in Alberta, not just in Calgary, in Edmonton too. As you know, former MP Kerry Diot joined our team. And I haven't even met everyone in the company until now. I haven't even met some of our new Vancouverites. So as you know, in December, we put in an offer on a gorgeous office that was approved by the Royal Bank of Canada until their political, hygiene team in Toronto told me on the phone that they were not going to give us the mortgage because we had the wrong politics. It was outrageous, but it pressed pause on our dream of an office, for 6 months. And here I am. Now, we're in an office here. This is our temporary office. We're just squatting here for a few weeks. I'll have more news about a permanent office a little bit later, probably in a couple weeks. I'm very excited to say that Royal Bank did not kill our plans. We're just sort of huddling in. Unfortunately, Calgary has a 30% vacancy rate in the downtown, but I thought, here I am in Calgary. Let's have a chat with the Calgary team, many of whom are new to Rebel News. Now, our cameraman is Kian Simone, who all of you know from his great work in the Coots blockade. But I want to go around and just reintroduce folks here in our Calgary office and show you how we're working together, and we'll soon be in the new office. Start with our chief videographer, Mocha Bazirgan. Mocha, great to see you again. What are you working on there? I see some buffalo. Well, good to see you.
Oh, yes.
You were a star. We met you out in Toronto, and here you are in Calgary. Compare the two cities for me.
Well, that was 3 years ago. I love Toronto. I live downtown, but Calgary is just beautiful. My siblings, they're kids. They want to go back to Toronto, take pictures of the CN Tower and show off. But Calgary is the real deal. Economically, it makes sense. I love the people. I love the work we're doing here. And I'm working on Adam's video that we shot yesterday about Buffalo, what do you call it? I'm sure Adam can explain it better. I was just recording, so it's going good.
So the chief videographer, videographer is a fancy way of saying cameraman, but also video editor. You add the style to it. You've been involved, for example, with K2, Kian, on our documentaries, right?
To some degree, yes, but he was more involved with his own documentary.
Well, that was a great documentary. I know you've got something that works too. Well, it's nice to see you out here. Calgary looks good on you. Let's go around. Celine, we met very briefly during the trucker convoy where you went all the way from Calgary out to Ottawa. That was an incredible time. Oh, my God, it was cold. That's my number one memory of it. But tell me a little bit about that and what you do now at Rebel News. We're just having a little bit of a hello. You're probably thinking, what are you doing in this big abandoned office? Well, we're just sort of squatting here until we're ready to move into the permanent one. Celine, tell us a little bit more about what you're up to these days.
Yeah, so when I'm not doing any reporting, I'm behind the camera or I'm doing a lot of social media work. I've got some projects in the run right now, actually, which is really exciting as well. But that's pretty much
You've traveled around, too. You're up in Edmonton the other day helping out with Kerry.
That's true. Yeah, I was. We filmed quite a few videos together.
So you're doing filming. You do some video editing. Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Yeah. And then social media as well. Yeah.
Well, I tell you, anyone who was part of that trucker convoy, I think you're freedom for life. Now, Angelica, we didn't even meet until today. I mean, that's what happens when you live in a country where there's a segregation and really second-class status for people like you and me who can't fly. Why don't you say hello to our viewers and tell them a little bit about what you do at Rebel News?
So I just manage the social media side, work on posting, managing the accounts and stuff like that, and sometimes doing some social cuts here and there.
And you're actually a student as well, and you go to the freedom protests pretty much every weekend, am I right?
Yep, I'm all about the freedom, and that's the thing I love about Rebel is, they expose the truth, the other side of the story, and the truth will set you free.
Well, that's amazing. One of the things you might be able to detect here at the office is that the average age of our talent is about half of my age. Now I'm 50, half a century. Look at this gray hair. That shows wisdom. That shows wisdom and experience. But what a pleasure it is to see that people who are not 50 years old care about freedom. I love to hear that. I love to hear that. What you saw was an excerpt from my nightly show, The Ezra Levant Show. Every weekday, I do a monologue. Usually it's about half an hour. Then I interview an interesting guest, and then we read my hate mail or my fan mail, whichever is more fun. It's only available behind a paywall, though. That's how we pay our bills here at Rebel News. We don't take a dime from Justin Trudeau. But the good news is it's only $8 a month, about half the price of Netflix. And in addition to my nightly show, you also get weekly shows from 4 other friends here at Rebel News. So you're getting 36 shows a month just for $8. I think it's worth it. And even if you're not quite sure, do it anyways, because we rely on viewers like you to keep us free and independent. I promise you I'll never take a dime from Trudeau. Just go to rebelnewsplus.com and click subscribe. Thanks.